Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Madison and Sterling here, 2-in-1 Golf, and today we have a new video for the channel. This is going to be episode 1 of Swing Thoughts, and today we have Madison Hill. What we're going to do is we're going to go through his round at Providence Golf Course. It was the front 9.
No, this is the back 9.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is the back. I don't play Providence a whole lot, so I'm sorry. So this is the back 9. I believe this was played. Was this before Christmas or after?
No, this was about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so what was that? That's after
Early
Christmas.
January. Yeah,
Okay.
it was after
So
Christmas.
this is this year.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to go through each shot, each hole. We'll pause it throughout the video, just kind of get, obviously Madison's swing thoughts before each shot, what he was trying to do. Just go from there.
Yeah.
You got nothing to say?
No.
All right.
And this was, I have my goals this year, how many rounds I want to play. Also trying to get in tournament shape.
Mm-hmm.
Have some tournaments I want to play in this year as well. So this is just kind of a way to look at what I did well, what I did wrong, and kind of keep it all together. So
Here we go. So this is hole 10. Do you know how far this one is?
yeah, it's a pretty short par 4, but it doglegs hard to the left. So it's just an iron. I have a 5-iron on the tee. There's a bunker straight ahead that if you go too far, you'll get in that, and that just kind of puts you in a bad spot. And I didn't really hit this one that well. It was a little off the toe, so it was a little further right than I want to be. Everything slopes down that hill, so if you're not up to the left, it's kind of hard to see the green on this one.
So here you are, wedge in hand, ball above your feet. I'm assuming something inside 100 yards. Pretty short par 4.
Yeah, it's a 54 degree, so.
Good strike. Little chicken wing finish there.
Yeah, I've noticed that on some of my wedges now, kind of that high hand finish, and it worked out really well. It's really tough, like I said, if you're not up there and you can see the green, it's tough to really kind of know where you want to be. So luckily, it still worked out for me. Got just, 6 feet.
Yeah, 6 feet for birdie on the opening hole. Can't ask for much more.
No, well, you could ask for a make.
Yeah. Well, spoiler alert. As he steps into this putt here, probably one of the worst putts of the day from him.
Yeah, that was a little more like it kind of guidey.
Yeah.
Like I was really trying to will it towards the hole instead of just finishing the stroke. But a par there is still not bad. I mean, worst thing I can do is start off with something worse than that. And sometimes that hole, you can put yourself in a pretty tough spot. If you go too far right, it really blocks everything out. Or if, like I said, you hit it too far through the fairway, you're up in the trees, and you can really bring a big number, surprisingly, on that hole into play.
I remember you said something on that green, and I think you said something like, what's one thing amateur golfers do? And I was like, I don't know what. And you said...
I said, read break that's not there. That's something that I'm famous for. I'm always looking for break, and half the times I'll hit the putt, and I'm like, well, that was just dead straight. So, I said that one thinking that was going to be a dead straight putt, and it wasn't. So, but it also didn't help that I barely hit it. So,
yeah. So moving on, hole 2, hole 11, your second hole, par 3 down the hill, but it's pretty long.
Yeah, this is about I think he was playing 185 or just a little more than that today.
Looks like a little slight pull there.
Yeah, so the pin was back left on this one. This is kind of like a 2-tiered green. So if you're not up there and you're down on the lower half, once again, you bring a big number into play. So I hit 6-iron here. It was a colder day, and I remember you kind of questioned me on that. But, just a little past the flag, put it up on this hill. It was coming through the fringe a little bit. And I feel like that was kind of a nervy putt because too far past that hole, you'll go down the hill, and then it's just not where you want to be. So nice to just kind of lag it up there and get it in, walk away, or almost fall as I'm walking away from the hole there.
Well, you get back-to-back no stress par, so that's a good start.
Yeah.
Here we are, 12th hole, par 5. Not a hole you really hit driver on, so you lay up with a 3-wood, and you absolutely stripe this thing. I'm not even sure why you're still looking at it, to be honest.
So I'll pause it here. So there's a there's a tree that's kind of up there on the right-hand side of the fairway, which is why I don't want to hit driver there, because if it's too high, it can get knocked down, and you can either end up on 11 tee box, or you can end up in the woods somewhere. So 3 wood kind of peaks and gets down on the ground just in a perfect spot, but it was kind of still going at that tree a little bit. So I was hoping it was just going to get underneath that branch and roll out like it did.
So well executed shot there from Madison, and now we've got what do we have in here, like
It's about 215, 220. The green is right behind those trees up there. So this is a little controversial on this shot here.
I'll pause it again.
So typically the way I've played this hole before, you can bail out to the right up here. It kind of the fairway doglegs back to the right. So you can hit, from where I am, I would hit maybe like an 8-iron or a 9-iron. And that leaves you about 100 yards into the green. So it gets a wedge in your hand, and you can get pretty close. But someone was sort of saying, hey, why don't you just play the yardage? There's bailout to the left. So worst case scenario, you miss the green, you're still up there on the left, and you have just a little pitch shot in. Best case scenario, you fly it on the green. But those trees, for me, and maybe most amateurs, just are, they're like skyscrapers in my mind. They're not big trees, but they're exactly where I would want to hit it. So we looked at this shot. I think I even stepped off of it a couple times. Mm-hmm. And, we hit it. So,
yeah, and I was telling you, like, this is just a shot you have to have.
Right.
You can miss miles left.
We didn't miss miles left, though. We found those trees straight away. Yeah. And it was one of those things that towed anyways. So I
clips a tree.
Yeah. And so this is kind of like a little bit of a native area that's right in between those trees and the green. And in the summer times, it's so thick you'll never find a ball. But kind of in the fall every year, they mow it down like you see here. So luckily we found the ball. Not a bad lie, but definitely there's a lot of stuff around it, which makes me think it's going to grab. So I was playing it a little bit, probably more aggressive than I needed to, and just blasted it over the green.
Yeah, which is fine. There was bunkers short. I think you'd rather be long than go in those bunkers, but yeah, it definitely came out really hot.
Yeah. And then this was just a bad shot. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. I just quit on it halfway through, and you can see it barely gets on the green, and there's plenty of green to work with. So not really a good shot. I think I was pretty upset at this point. Didn't even bother cleaning the leaves out of my way, out of my line. So, but lagged it up there and walked away with bogey on this hole, if I remember correctly. Yep. So I think I made a remark to you about probably should have hit 8-iron back there, but.
All right, so here we are now, 1 over through 3 holes. Still a very solid round. Mm-hmm. Downhill par 4, I believe water right?
All up the right-hand side on this one.
So again, you just striped it 3-wood on 3. Why not do it again? Right over the camera. It's a good shot there. A little left. We're picking up the tee.
Yeah, so I always kind of find myself on this side, and typically it's not a bad spot to be, but the pin was a little more on the left today. So with the tree that's straight away, it's kind of tough to navigate it around there. So being more in the fairway to the right would have been better, but I just hate bringing that water into play.
So wedge there. I believe you hit the green.
Yep.
A pretty average shot, but again, nothing wrong with being on the green.
No, definitely would rather have a putter in my hand than another wedge after the chip on the last hole. So, once again, just trying to lag it up there close. Gave it a run. It's, just kind of leaving myself with easy putts, not trying to have to stand over them or think about them too much coming back. So, I think the one thing that I took away from this hole is what I've found before, and what may happen later in this video, is sometimes after a bad hole, I'll get on the next tee and just compound it, just one after another. and that's when a round really gets away from you. So really happy there to hit the fairway and then also find the green and walk away with a 2-putt par on that one.
So here we are now on your fifth hole, which means this is the 14th hole at Providence. You can see me over there trying to get some good photos for the Instagram. And we're going back up the hill. Par 4, got driver in hand.
Yeah, and this one it's not a difficult hole by any means, but there is that water that was on the right on the last hole. It's on the right-hand side on this hole, and there's trees that go straight up the left-hand side that you can kind of see behind me here. So if you try and bite off a little bit more on that one, you can get caught up in those trees. So just found the fairway here. I think I had 105 in, maybe a little bit less. I think we were waiting for you to get your camera in focus on this one. That's why that one took a little bit longer. But
that's my fault. You stepped off there,
but no, I mean, this is kind of how I'd love to play all day long. Find the fairway and then just have a wedge in hand. Nothing too much. And this is a pretty large green as well. So if you're kind of outside that comfort zone, it's sometimes it's tough to get it close to the pin. And this one was pretty close to the back today.
Can't really tell where the hole is there. Didn't know.
That rolled just by the right of it.
So low side?
Yeah, and this one is kind of a tough putt too because now it's above the hole and there's a lot of break there. So I definitely thought about this one a little bit more. I wanted to just kind of step in and feel confident hitting that putt and rolling it in, but I've had those before and missed them on the low side again, or definitely sit them by on the high side. So really just happy to get away with that one there.
So again, we're playing well. We are 1 over through 5 holes.
Mm-hmm.
Very solid round. You're hitting it well. Putting has been pretty good. Leaving yourself with tap-ins for par. And this is where things start to get interesting for you.
Yeah, this one. So obviously not the best swing. You can kind of see that with the finish there, and so you can see that we're back on the tee now. So we're hitting directly into the sun that you can see there.
Yeah.
And I remember making contact with it and then trying to look up and could not see anything. Couldn't, no idea where it went. I don't have the feel. Like maybe some players, I don't know about you, like when you make contact, can you feel pretty confident like that ball's either going a little left or a little right?
I'd say about 85% of the time, yeah.
So I'm just happy to make contact. So that's what I felt was the contact, and I couldn't decide if it went left or right, and just couldn't see it. And did we hit a tree? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Maybe we did. We still couldn't tell if it was the left side trees or the right.
Right. So we drove around for a while. Probably at least we drove around 5 minutes, which is fine. There's nobody else out there, but we just couldn't find it. Had no idea where it could have been. We checked in where I thought it would have been on either side of the fairway, in the neighboring fairway, and just couldn't find it. So we went back to the tee, and a little bit of frustration setting in here on this one after, once again, feeling like I was playing pretty well, then to lose a ball with basically just the only reason that I couldn't see it. So back on the tee here, and just a little bit more of a, frustrated swing.
So I believe this one gets going a little left.
Yeah, this one starts left, stays left, ends left. So always, like, this is a tough spot to be on this hole once again because of the trees. So this is right up against the previous fairway. And on this shot, I'm just trying to get it back out, but I want to get it down the fairway a little bit closer to the green. So I had 7-iron here and just kind of moved it back in my stance, shut the face down a little bit to keep it under that branch. I'm not going to lie, I was absolutely surprised that it didn't hit the tree, but it came out, it looked beautiful. So that was probably, in my opinion, the shot of the day for me, just as a recovery shot. But
so here you are chipping your 5th shot on this par 4.
Yep.
And you can see the frustration start to set in there. Tossing the wedge up into the air, looking backwards, barely getting this ball on the green. And, I mean, you're leaving yourself with 25 feet here for double.
Yeah. This hole really kind of hurt and pretty much ended the round for me. That chip I mean, after hitting that shot, that 7-iron underneath the tree, I really thought I was going to be kind of able to execute it a little bit better, but it just kind of flubbed it off the face and just left it all the way down here. And this isn't a super difficult putt. It's pretty. I think it's pretty straight. It breaks a little left to right, if I remember correctly. And I mean, I put a decent roll on it. It gets up there and just kind of looks at it and stays right there. So
Yeah. Just doesn't drop, which, from 25 feet, they're not going to drop a whole lot. So cleaning up there for a triple.
yep.
So you make a triple there. Now you're 4 over through 6 holes, I believe. And now I think this is one of the more difficult holes on the back 9.
Yeah, this one is, and I really don't understand why. This one, it's not a long hole, but it kind of goes uphill once the fairway starts. So I just always kind of find myself having to hit my second shot uphill. And kind of the same thing here. Pretty low on the face. The ball really never comes out super high. Don't give it a chance to get anywhere down the fairway. So lands pretty short. We're before the bunker. So we still, on this one, I want to say probably have about 190 in. So I've got 5-iron in my hand here. I think it might have been 6 that I hit. And I just didn't feel comfortable over this. And I remember I told you that. I just felt like my back leg was in a weird spot. And as soon as I made contact, I knew. Almost hit Sterling on that one. So I thought we were going to have to cancel the whole film after that. But so block it way right. 58 degree in my hand. Once again, just trying to move it in the back of my stance, keep it below the trees and get it on the green. And I pretty much do that. It just runs through the green. It's really narrow at that spot. The green is very long, but it's pretty narrow, so tough to really kind of get it to stop. And this, I think, was probably one of my better putts of the day. This was off the green. Obviously, after the last couple holes, I didn't want a wedge in my hand, chipping around the green, so went putter here, and it looked good. I mean, it looks good the whole way and just left it short.
Yep.
So
one thing I noticed on this hole, and, a lot of amateurs make this mistake, is I feel like especially on this hole, you left yourself in an absolute dead zone.
mm-hmm.
Like from 190 yards, you pull that 5-iron a little left, then you have plenty of green to work with and a decent chance to get up and down.
Right.
But instead, you push it right into the trees, bunker, short-sided, like all the above. I don't know. You just kind of the only score you can make from there is a bogey.
Yeah, and I think what happened on that one really is, kind of like I said, I felt like my front foot was much higher. And in reality, it probably wasn't. It was much higher than my my trail foot, my right foot. And so when I was swinging the club, I'm sure it just got stuck behind me and made contact really early with the ground and with the ball, and it just blocked it straight right on that one. So. Oh, well, just a messy hole. So this is on 17, par 3, about 150 yards. I had 9-iron here. And playing a little bit close to the left-hand side on this one. I honestly thought it was going to be up near the tree, which I was going to be devastated with. But just kind of up on the left-hand side of the green, 10 feet, 12 feet, left for birdie on this one. This green is pretty tough. It does kind of break a little bit towards the water, which is just to the right up here. But there's a decent amount of slope in it as well, back to front. So trying to manage that as well. And it just, once again, just takes a look. And, I mean, you can see the frustration there. It's really starting to get to me at this point. And it's really just because I thought I was playing so well to begin with. But what I'm really trying to do with these rounds is when you do get behind the 8 balls, like how do you recover? How do you continue on and try and find something to take away from it? So on 18 here, pretty frustrated. 18 is a par 5. It kind of goes back to the left a little bit, and there's a little creek right in front of the green. So the first fairway is up to the right of that tree, so you can play over there. I pull this one way left. up in that group of trees over there. Once again, I don't think we found that one. So we re-teed. I don't know where that one is.
So let's pause here for a second. Your first tee shot went left.
Yeah, into that group of trees and tons of leaves. So
Yeah.
we looked for that one. Once again, couldn't find it. I hit a provisional on that one, so we didn't go back to the tee. I hit a provisional and blocked that one way right, almost probably purposely. So didn't want to even bring left into play. Block it way right. So this shot, we're actually in the first fairway.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, it's a par 5, no trouble in the first fairway.
Yeah.
And then not a good. I mean, I don't know. I guess you chunked it. Do you remember what you did there on that second
Yeah,
shot?
I was just trying to lay something up, get back in 18 fairway. I think I hit 7-iron just kind of down there. I thought I hit it too far, but this is the chunk here. And that one was super frustrating. Pin all the way in the back on this one, which I don't think I've ever seen here before. It's normally in the front. So just absolutely chunked it. I don't know what I was thinking. I could tell looking back at it now. It looks like I decelerated a little bit coming through impact, but uphill on this putt. It's starting to get pretty cool out there as well. So I'm feeling like I'm having to hit him a little bit harder to get him to the hole. I think this one no, never mind. I thought that one had a chance for a while, but I'm thinking of a different hole. So this is one. I'm pretty much fuming at this point, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I think on the previous putt, you had good speed, good pace, but I don't know if you even really looked at the break.
I'm sure I didn't. Plus, it was a little bit darker. But this is the one that I remember, like, didn't really care, but it just happened to go in. So, like, it almost looks like it just, like, kind of rips back to the left just for me, just so I'll come back. But, yeah, and this is the media trying to get a word in with a player that's clearly had a tough round. Just really feeling kind of defeated at that point.
I forgot I kept recording after that.
Yeah, when I was cutting it all together, I was like, I'm just gonna leave it in.
Yeah,
this is
that's
pretty
good.
just raw motion here. Yeah. But yeah, really, I mean, overall, I thought I putted pretty well this round. I really got exposed with my wedges, and I can't remember if this was before Pendleton, right?
Yes. Yep.
So really got exposed to my wedges here, and then we saw that as well at Pendleton when we played there. My wedge game was just really not working well. So something I know now to really work on. But I mean, I think overall, I thought my iron play was pretty decent. But yeah, it's just really compounding those errors after one bad hole, one bad tee shot, kind of being able to get that out of your head and move forward, especially if we're re-teeing or we're hitting a provisional. Like, that ball has to be in the fairway because you're already behind the 8 ball at that point. So if you're hitting another one out of play or you're hitting another one that's not finding the fairway, you're pulling it left, that you just can't do that because you're just compounding that error one after another. So
you finish up on 18, your ninth hole of the day. I believe that was a double.
Yep, I believe so. I can double check for you.
So make a double there, and I believe you shot, was that 7 over? 7 over, so 43.
I'm going to check my VSGA app here. I don't know if that was that January 7th? No, that couldn't have been.
I don't think it was that recent.
Okay. So, yeah, probably a 43 then.
43. Yeah, a triple, a double. You clean those up, make bogeys there.
Make a couple birdies. I mean, we had some looks today.
You had 2.
I had 2 decent looks. And I think those are ones that you just kind of have to make because
I think you got to make the one on the first hole.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, any of them, really. After you start throwing some doubles and triples in there, you got to have a birdie. You got to be able to get back into it somehow. And, stringing a bunch of pars together is great. But when you're already, 3 or 4, 5, 6 over, pars don't really mean as much at that point. So,
But I think that's what you have to tell yourself, right? You have the ability to string together 2 or 3 birdies. Would you agree? Doesn't happen often, but you have the ability to do that. Mm-hmm. So earlier you said like I got to figure out how to get, the round back under control after making a double or a triple. That's what I do. Like I tell myself like I know I probably just made double, but I have the ability to make 2 or 3 birdies here in the next 5 holes and get this round back under control. So it's
Yeah, something to think about.
yeah.
I'd like to probably see a couple more birdies, and I could tell myself that, so I don't feel like I'm lying to myself.
Yeah, I feel like you always have a bit of a negative attitude towards
It's
your golf game.
Look, I will say, I love the game of golf. Clearly, wouldn't be doing this if I didn't. Um, but there are some times where golf just takes everything from you, and I mean like you go sometimes to have a round of golf just to have a good time and get out there, and then it just takes your lunch, and you just can't figure it out. But then, like for example, on 18, right? I don't care about that putt going in. It doesn't mean anything at that point. My score's already blown up, and that ball drops in, and you're like, okay, that's good. I'll come back next week. Like, yeah, I'll play again. Like, that's fine. Like when you're ready to throw in the towel and something like that happens, or you get a good break or something, you're like, okay, yeah, I'll probably come back. So, yeah, trying to work on the attitude a little bit better. So,
All right, well there you go. That is episode 1 of Swing Thoughts, Providence Golf Course. Very nice track. I know you used to be a member there, but that's Madison Hill.
yeah,
All right, we'll see you at the next episode. Hopefully it's myself.
yeah.
Swing Thoughts episode 2. I don't know what course we're going to go to.
I don't know. I can guarantee you the golf will be a lot better. But it would be good to get into the mind of a PGA professional as you're kind of making your way around the course, especially like I said, in a situation where the hole didn't go the way you thought it was, or you thought it was going to go, but then moving on to the next tee and being able to clear your mind and go from there. So.
Yeah.